Imagine being on a plane, cruising at 30,000 feet, feeling the hum of the engines, when suddenly you sense a presence, a ghostly figure that's not supposed to be there. This is the chilling reality that unfolds in John G. Fuller's The Ghost of Flight 401, a book that blends the eerie with the real, leaving readers with goosebumps and a sense of wonder. The crash occurred in the Everglades of Florida, and while the official investigation attributed the accident to a series of pilot errors, survivors and witnesses reported a series of strange occurrences, both before and after the disaster. This includes unexplained radio communications, ghostly apparitions, and even physical manifestations of a mysterious entity. The story begins with the tragic crash of Eastern Airlines Flight 401 on the night of December 29, 1972. The Lockheed L-1011, a state-of-the-art aircraft at the time, was on its way from New York to Miami when a seemingly minor technical issue led to a catastrophic chain of events. The crew became preoccupied with a faulty landing gear indicator light, failing to notice the plane's gradual descent until it was too late. The aircraft crashed into the Florida Everglades, killing 101 of the 176 people on board, including Captain Bob Loft and flight engineer Don Repo. This horrific accident might have ended there, as just another tragic chapter in aviation history. But what happened next turned it into one of the most intriguing and eerie tales of the supernatural. In the months following the crash, strange reports began to surface from Eastern Airlines crew members. Pilots, flight attendants, and even passengers claimed to have seen ghostly figures aboard the airline's planes, figures that bore an uncanny resemblance to Captain Loft and Don Repo. These apparitions weren't just fleeting glimpses in the corner of someone's eye. They were full-bodied apparitions that spoke, interacted, and even offered warnings. Some crew members reported seeing Captain Loft in the cockpit, calmly performing pre-flight checks. Others saw Don Repo inspecting the aircraft, even pointing out potential mechanical issues that hadn't yet been discovered. What made these sightings even more chilling was that they were almost always reported on planes that had been fitted with parts salvaged from the wreckage of Flight 401. As word of these ghostly encounters spread, they were met with a mix of skepticism and belief. Eastern Airlines, not surprisingly, wanted to keep a lid on the stories, fearing they would tarnish the airline's reputation. Yet, the sheer number of reports, often from credible and experienced crew members, made it difficult to dismiss them entirely. John G. Fuller's investigation into these events forms the core of The Ghost of Flight 401. He meticulously documents the sightings, interviewing witnesses who describe their encounters with a mixture of fear, awe, and sometimes even comfort. Fuller presents these accounts in a way that is both respectful and compelling, leaving readers to ponder the possibility that the spirits of Captain Loft and Don Repo were somehow still tied to the planes they once flew. The book doesn't just dwell on the supernatural. It also explores the psychological impact of the crash and the ghostly sightings on those who lived through them. Fuller delves into the trauma experienced by survivors of the crash and the strange comfort, some found in the belief that Loft and Repo were still watching over them, ensuring that no one else would suffer the same fate. Eastern Airlines eventually removed the salvaged parts from their planes, and the sightings reportedly stopped. But the legend of Flight 401 lives on, a haunting reminder of the thin veil between life and death, and the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding. That was all for today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.